Hello, and welcome to 5-Minute Math. Today we are looking at the 7th grade concept of describing pi. This is standard 7.5b in the great state of Texas, and we are using item number 33 of the 2024 released STAAR test. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and take a moment to pause the video, work this problem out on your own, unpause it, and we will look at our answers together. All right, so we have a circle, the radius of 10 inches. Let's go ahead and draw that so we get a nice visual. All right, so there's several things that we can kind of keep in mind when we are dealing with a circle, right? So they want us to label the radius and their circumference. So let's do that. The radius starts at the center. Right, so here's your exact center of the circle. Always starts at the center and then goes straight to one side. That's the radius. And in this case, it happens to be 10 inches. Now, the radius doesn't always have to go to the right. The radius can be, up and down like this. That's also 10 inches if we need to. All the way around is the radius. Now, another thing to keep in mind is the diameter, which is really 2 radii back to back, right? If you take a radius and you make it go one way, then go flip the opposite direction, you've got 2 radii back to back, and that actually makes our diameter. One thing we always need to know is that our diameter, d, is always double the radius because it's a radius in each direction. So if we needed that, right, that's going to equal 20 inches. That's a 10 and a 10 on each side. Now, they also mentioned the circumference. So the circumference is going to be around the outside. Think of it like the perimeter of a circle. So it goes all the way around like this. We do not have an actual measurement for it, but they do give us a letter to use, C. All right, so circumference equals C. That should be easy to remember. One way to remember that the circumference is around the outside of a circle, kind of like the perimeter, is you almost see this word fence in the backside of circumference. And a fence goes around a yard or a property, so the circumference goes around a circle. All right, so we have the radius, we have the diameter if we need it, always easy to calculate, and the circumference of C. What are we looking for here? We are looking for pi. Now, most of us remember that pi is, about 3.14, and that's an approximation if you don't have access to a calculator. And if we actually had a value for C, we might be able to calculate which of these is about 3.14, but we don't have that. So we need to think about pi in a different way. And let's use our reference materials. And if we do that, you are going to see pi, they give us 2 different approximations here, right? Pi is about 3.14 or 22/7. Doesn't really help us there, right? But we can use it with the circumference. Take a look at this circumference. The circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, or pi times d. All right, so we can do that. So let's take a look at my circumference, right? So my circumference of a circle equals, let's give us the r since they did that to us, right? 2 pi r. And we know that the radius is 10, so that's going to be 2 times 10 times pi, which equals 20 pi. So C equals 20 pi. How can I isolate this pi? Well, divide both sides by 20, and you're going to get pi equals that C underneath that 20, because the circumference, right, that pi is the ratio of the circumference to the diameter, which is what that 2r is. So our answer here is going to be C.